What's the difference between present value? What is the difference between present value and future value? A timeline can help this process. So let's take that original example we had where we invested $10,000. We invest $10,000 now, and we let it sit for a long period of time. In our case, we let it sit for how long? 10 years. Good. So we looked at 10 years. That's right, Tom. So we were looking at 10 years. And originally, we did it annually. So you could break this up from like time 0, where it starts, and count it out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and those are all equally spaced. All right, that's what we assume. So those are all equal periods of a year. And so you can think of this as 10 years. And that 10,000 is going to grow each year. But we found what it was worth at the end. What was the total value when we did it annually? We had, what was it, 23,000? What was the rest of it? 673. And then how many cents? 60. Okay. So we went from 10,000 to 23,000. So we went more than double. When you talk about present value and future value, maybe you've had them in accounting or finance. The idea is present value is what you have at this moment. Future value is what you have in the future, as you might guess. A lot of times, this would be another example. I might say, how much do I invest now at the rate we used before was 9%. At 9%, to arrive at a future value of 23,673.64. So let's say I had that goal in mind. I want to raise that amount of money. Now that's a kind of an obscure amount. But since we just had that example, we had to go backwards and say, well, what do I have to invest now to get that? Well, we should come up with 10,000 because that's what we did. But you can still use that same compound interest formula. We used accumulated amount equals principal times 1 plus I to the n. So in our case, we only know the accumulated amount this time, which is 23,673.64. You have to use a little algebra, but the P is the principal we're trying to find. 1 plus, what was our rate again? We used 9%, and the amount of time was how many years? 10. So let's say you did have a problem like this. We should come up with this value of 10,000, shouldn't we?